Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is David. This is going to be Paranormal Vlog 3, and this particular paranormal experience is going to be detailing my first encounter with Freemasons with the help of the spirits in the hospital. So sit back and relax and enjoy this experience. So to start, this particular event happened when I was 2.5, and this was when I was a lot healthier as a premature baby. And this is how it went down. So I was playing by myself on this particular morning, and there was nobody around except for a couple of spirits from the hospital. And one of them was a female spirit, and the other was a male spirit. So the female spirit's name that she told me, her name was Janice, and she is this elderly woman who had died in her sleep. And her room, from what she told me, was like 2 doors down from the playroom, but the nurses hadn't taken out her body from the hospital. And she told me that she was gonna spend time with me because she noticed that I was by myself a lot. And it didn't really bother me because the nurses that were checking up on me would always play with me a little bit before they had to go do their nurse duties. And so Janice decided to stay. There was a male spirit that was there, but he never told me his name. But I can describe him as a very light-skinned guy with freckles on his face, and he has these very light brown eyes. And he told me that he was a World War II soldier who died in the war, and that he was sent by someone to guard me because I was somehow important to things. He wasn't really specific on the details of exactly why that he was there, except that he was there just to protect me from something that was going to happen. Now, for the first couple of hours that I remember in the morning time on this day, Janice would tell me a whole bunch of stuff about how she missed her grandchildren, and that whenever she went around her grandchildren to try to visit them in their place, that they wouldn't be able to see or hear her. And she asked me to go to one of her granddaughters and talk to her granddaughter because their grandmother had a message. And since I was by myself and unattended, and since I like Janice, I was like, oh, okay, Janice, if you want me to go and talk to your granddaughter, I can. S- So, funny thing is, the reception area is a couple of rooms over, and it's kind of a long walk from where I was in the playroom. And I know that one of the nurses that was attending another patient happened to see me walk out of the playroom area straight up to this um, granddaughter of Janice's that was at the reception area who was crying, understandably, about her grandmother dying. And the grandmother told me that who was the granddaughter, but she wouldn't say who her name was. She would just point out to me that this woman um, was the granddaughter of Janice's and that she had a message for her granddaughter. So it was a little awkward as a 2.5-year-old to go up to this complete stranger and say, oh, your grandmother has a message for you. And the granddaughter, when I said that to her, she kind of looked at me very strangely, like, who is this random kid um, that's just like saying all this stuff? And she didn't get mad, but I told the granddaughter what the grandmother, Janice, told me, and she said that to her granddaughter, the message was that her grandmother loved her very much and to not be worried or concerned about where she was, that where she was going to be in a happier place. And she also told the granddaughter that she needed to not be too concerned about trying to be a super popular person and that she just needed to be herself. So the granddaughter, of course, she broke down crying and she told me like, how do you know my grandmother? And I told her that she's standing over here and she has that message for you. So, please take it to heart what she is telling you. And of course, the granddaughter nodded, and then the nurses thought that I was causing trouble, so I did end up getting scolded by the nurse, and I was put back in the play area. Um, so I was by myself again. Then Janice told me that since I told her granddaughter the message that she needed to hear, that she was going to stay around because the other people in the hospital were talking about these two men who were going around the hospital and checking up on a lot of these rooms. The crazy thing is that more and more of the people in the hospital that had passed away started filling up this playroom area, telling me that, these men were coming to look for someone who was able to talk to spirits. And I told them, like, yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that there's other people in the hospital that can, like, talk to spirits and stuff. And some of the nurses that came in to check on me did ask me who I was talking to. And I told them, like, oh, I'm talking to these people in this room. And they're telling me, like, some men in suits or something are, like, going into each room, opening up doors, and apparently trying to find someone. Some of the nurses did get scared, but there was this other nurse. She would ask me, like, can you describe how these men look? And I told the nurse, well, this woman over here says that these men are about, like, really tall, and they wear these suits with these black ties, and that they're, like, light-skinned guys who wear also these black glasses, whatever black glasses are. And of course, the nurses, they were looking at each other and was just like, how does he know that? Like, he's in the playroom area. So, when they were notified by me about what had happened, the hospital staff on the PA system said to look for these two men who were going around in the hospital searching for someone. And about 10 minutes later, I had happened to hear Janice and the soldier spirit of the guy. They said that these guys were looking for me. And when the guys came into the playroom, I remember that they came in, brought a whole bunch of toys, which I think that they took from a different area in the hospital. And they displayed all of these toys on the floor. And the nurses, they weren't around to, like, check up on me because they were looking for these two guys. So I was by myself with two complete strangers, and there was these two light-skinned guys with the black aviator glasses in these suits. And they decided to sit down and ask me what I was doing. And of course, as a 2.5-year-old, I remember telling them that, oh, I'm just playing with these toys because I've been playing by myself for the longest time. So they came and were trying to play with me, but were asking these very specific questions um, about what was going on with me and um, if I knew who they were. And as a 2.5-year-old, I pretty much told them, like, yeah, I heard from a whole bunch of people that you've been, like, going around the hospital and opening up doors that you shouldn't open. And I don't even think that you should even be here because people are looking for you. And they told me, like, what kind of people told you that we were doing that? And I said, oh, the people that passed away. The There's an older woman, her name is Janice, and she says to me that you're somebody from somewhere with a group of people and uh, that you do different things in secret. And of course, they looked at each other while I was looking at them, and there was this expression on their faces, like, kind of like the shocked look. And one of the guys said, like, so, what's your name? And I said, I shouldn't tell you my name because the soldier guy says that you might kidnap me. And I don't want to be kidnapped. So, of course, they said, like, oh, we're not going to kidnap you. We just kind of want to know your name. Uh, because you are very important. And I did tell them, like, oh, my name is David. And they were like, oh, okay, David, where is your mom? Maybe we can talk to your mom. And, of course, since my mom wasn't there, I told them, like, oh, my mom isn't here, but you guys should leave soon because I think the spirits are starting to get mad. So, the strangest thing happened where one of the guys were asked the other, um, they asked each other, like, what is he talking about? The spirits are getting mad. That's kind of weird for a kid to say. And I told them, like, well, you shouldn't be here because, you know, I need to live my life and not be bothered by you guys. And I know who you are since the spirits keep telling me more and more information about you guys. And while they were talking, the room that we were in, um, the objects like the chairs and the tables started shaking. And they noticed that and they asked me, like, hey, David, are you the one that's causing this to happen? And I was like, to them, no. Like, it's the spirits and they're getting angry because you shouldn't be here. Um, and they told me that they would protect me from you guys because they telling me that you're gonna try to kidnap me because I can talk to people that you can't see. So you need to leave before you get really hurt. So the Freemason guys said that they were going to keep an eye out on me and that um they would be watching. And of course, I told them, like, I don't really care if you are watching or whatever, just go because you're about to have, like, a table slam into you. So they ended up leaving just as one of the nurses was paging the security guards to escort these two men out. And the two men made a quick exit and then they left. So Janice was the one who told me who they were, and she said after they left, she told me that those people, they're called Freemasons, and that her great-grandfather used to be one of them before he died. And I was sad with her because she was upset about the situation of what happened to her grandfather. And she said that she never saw her grandfather that much, but he did mention something about Freemasonry and that those two men are Freemasons. But as a 2.5-year-old kid, I was like, oh, that's an interesting name. And I never really thought about it much afterward. So the guys ended up leaving, and nobody was able to find out exactly who they were, except that they were just two guys in these business suits with these business ties and the black aviator glasses. So that is my experience, my first ever experience with the Freemasons, and I hope you enjoyed that. So if you would like to know more paranormal experiences coming from my crazy, crazy life, feel free to subscribe, and I will put more of these videos out. So thanks for your time, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.